Being green is the new fashion of the 21st century, but what is the cleanest, greenest way to travel 200 kilometres? Well, we're about to find out in the inaugural Greenfleet Technology Trial. Basically 13 cars trying to use the least amount of fuel. Joining me in the hot seat is Jaedene Hudson. Jaedene, how do you think we'll go?
I'm not quite sure, Toby, but I think we'll give it a good hot go.
Sounds like a plan, let's hit it. Now today our weapon of choice is an Alfa Romeo 147 diesel. It's got a 1.9 litre engine with 110 kilowatts, but as with all diesels, it's all about torque, so we'll see how we go. Now we're up against a pretty diverse field and we've obviously got a reasonably sporty vehicle, but there's everything from a Mercedes van to luxury cars and even that little noddy looking smart car. So it'll be an interesting contest. As for the drivers, there's a lot of journalist hacks like us, but that doesn't mean we're not taking it seriously. Still, there's one guy I'm a little bit worried about. Him, Peter Brock, 9 times Bathurst champion. Could be a little bit of a worry. Basically, the objective of today is to use the least amount of fuel possible. So how do we do that? Well, the key thing is maintaining momentum. We basically want to keep the car running along as much as possible. Use the hills to our advantage, look ahead for traffic, and try not to use the brakes as much as possible. But obviously we are on a public road, so we do have to obey the rules. Now, one of the first things we can do is switch off the air conditioning. Thanks, Jaedene. One of the tricks with driving economically is basically not to drive too fast because you're pushing too much air out of the way. So we're sitting on about 80, which is probably about where we want to be. Of course, one of the best ways to save fuel is not to use it in the first place. So basically, be gentle on the accelerator. Now, like all diesels, the 147 has plenty of mid-range performance. So that's what we're trying to rely on. We don't want to use too much of the power because that'll chew up the fuel. So Jaedene, enough of your lead foot driving.
You can talk. By the way, I think you need to change gear.
Okay, so we're about halfway in. We've done about 100 Ks and the fuel gauge has only just come off full, but still we're going all right. We've done that basically by not revving the engine. We're labouring it at around 1500 revs, sometimes below, but never have we gone above 2000 RPM. Now, according to the onboard computer, we're using about roughly 5 litres 100 kilometres. To put that into perspective, that's about a third of what your average family car will use. Not bad. So far, so good. It's interesting watching some of the different driving styles. Some of the guys seem to have basically given up, but Brocky's taking it pretty seriously. Still, I reckon we're half a chance, Jaedene.
I think we might be, but you better slow down or you're going to miss this left turn.
Ooh, good point.
Toby, I think you're in the wrong gear again.
You think you could do better? Do you want to drive?
Yeah.
Well, as much as I hate to admit it, Jaedene's doing a pretty good job. Fuel consumption's down to just 4.8. Well, it's Judgment Day. We've done almost 220 Ks. Now we get to see just how much fuel we have or haven't used. Fingers crossed. Well, that's it. We've completed just over 200 Ks and having just refueled, figured out that we used just 9 litres of fuel all day. Now that works out to about 4.5 litres a 100 K. Roughly a third of what your average family car will use around town. Pretty good, I suppose.
It's my pleasure, Toby.
As for the results, stay tuned, they're coming up now.